What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I've got another exciting video to bring to you. What we're going to be doing here is a complete beginner's guide into the Robinhood app. I'm going to be taking a guest onto this channel and we're going to be signing up. We're going to be going into the very first investment that they're ever going to make. And it's going to be some really great stuff. So if you're interested in learning more about Robinhood, getting more of that tutorial, getting more in depth with it, this video is going to be really great for you. And it's going to be teaching you, not only some of those features that you're already aware with if you do currently use Robinhood, but it's going to be going into depth about some features that you may not already be aware of. So this is a lot of great stuff coming at you. And without further ado, let's introduce the guest. All right, here is the guest of honor. All right, now for real, this is the actual guest of honor. This is my girlfriend, Emma. For those of you who don't know her, Emma, say hi.
Hi, I'm Emma.
You might need to talk a little bit more into the microphone that's right here. Yeah, that'll really get it going. All right, so just to get an idea for everybody who's watching this video that doesn't know you, doesn't know what your kind of goals are as an investor, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. It'd be really great if you answered them for me, and we'll get everybody on the same page. So I know, just because I know you, we're with each other every day, I kind of know some of your strategies that might work out best for you when it comes to investing. Are you familiar at all with investing already?
No, not at all.
Right.
No.
Do you invest through work? I know she's got a full-time job. She's graduated college as well. She's working. Do you have a 401k? Do you invest into that?
I do have a 401k.
Okay.
And it's a dang good one.
It's a dang good one. Everybody says that about their 401k if it's like a certain percentage match, whatever. The thing about that is that you're probably hitting your match from your employer. It's a really good spot to start. So for those of you who are brand new to investing, check to see if your company has a 401k that they'll match. It's essentially free money that you're going to get from investing. So you're doing a great job there. And then actually the next step that I'd say is investing with a Roth IRA, which I know is kind of a foreign language to you, but a Roth...
I do want to do that.
I know that you do. This is kind of to get your toes wet, just to get you investing in general, to start getting more of that knowledge, that understanding. I'm definitely going to be setting you up with a Roth IRA, but because my channel is focused around Robinhood investing, I thought it'd be a really good idea to get you using that platform. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you go onto your phone. We're going to open up the Robinhood app and we'll get this thing rolling. All right. So real quick, if you guys didn't know, in the description of this video, there's going to be a referral code that you can use to get yourself a free stock. So I opened that up here for Emma on her screen. You should be seeing it right now. And if you don't use my referral code, definitely use somebody else's referral code. It basically helps you out and it helps them out. You'll see her open her free stock and it'll just get things rolling. So go ahead and start the sign up process. So obviously right here, you're just going to enter your information, fill it out, your name, and I'll probably blur out a lot of this stuff because not everybody needs to see it.
Please do that.
I will. Kind of the boring stuff that you pretty much get when you sign up for any other program. You just got to fill it out.
Jeez.
Now what's it asking for?
My security.
Social security number. So the thing about Robinhood is they're going to ask for your social security number, but it is a really, really well-established program. It's got government backing. You don't necessarily need to worry about putting your social security number into it. A lot of people ask that question.
Should I do none?
I would say none or not much. The only thing about answering it that way is it might give you a few helpful tips. So I'd probably say none if I were you. Okay, not much. That's fine. Whatever. You don't like listening to me anyways.
I am employed.
You are employed. So then you're just going to want to read through all that stuff, but what people normally do, yeah.
I'm reading it all.
It's good stuff, huh?
So good. Fund your account.
So then you need to link a bank account to your Robinhood app.
Do I have to do that now?
You do have to do that now so you can get funds in there. Okay, so once you fill out all your information, you're going to be taken to the home screen, and as you can see, it's displayed. There's a lot of stuff to kind of take in with this app. So what I'm going to do is kind of give you an overview, and Emma, you can ask any questions the entire time along the way, because I guarantee if you have that as a question, as somebody who's brand new to this, there's like a million people out there that have the same exact question. So there's no stupid questions, but let's just kind of give you an overview of the app itself. So I'm going to hold it and we'll kind of drive it together. But this is the home screen you see here. You're all set. You can add funds to start investing. Do you want to do that now to get that out of the way, or do you want to kind of get an overview of how it works first?
No, we can add now.
So how much do you want to put in today? How much do you want to invest, and what are you looking for right now?
I wanted to do like one Tesla, maybe a little Bitcoin, and then another thing that you suggest.
Okay, so Bitcoin you can't actually even get on Robinhood unless you get
Oh.
approved for crypto, and in New Hampshire where we live, you can't do it on Robinhood. Tesla's share price right now is like $800 a share. So if you were looking to spend $800,
Well, can I get half?
you can
or-
get portions of Tesla. Yeah, you can get
Okay, good.
fractional shares on Robinhood is a thing, so you can buy as little as $1 into Tesla if you wanted to. But I'm going to talk about why I think you should steer away from Tesla and go into some smarter decision stocks.
How about 200?
Okay, $200. Let's do 200. So it says you're all set. You can see your buying power here in the middle of the screen went up to $200. The very top, this section in the middle is going to show your investment like chart. So it's going to show when it's going up, when it's going down, and it'll give you your overall value on the home screen. So it's pretty easy to see. Then right here you have your lists. Already populated in this list are stocks that are popular within Robinhood. This is not the stocks that you actually own. It's just ones that they're like saying, oh, you might be interested in these. So this is what it's going to look like also when you own stocks. They'll just go into your portfolio. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you have any questions so far?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is open up that free stock that Emma got. So you can go ahead and choose one of the stocks there. All you got to do is scratch it off like a scratch ticket. And you can see you just got Sirius XM, and that was completely free to you. So $5.91 to help fund the start of your portfolio.
I'm profiting already.
Really great stuff. You're guaranteed to stock pretty much anywhere between $5 and $250. Unfortunately, you got the lower end, but
That's all right.
yeah. And then if you share your referral code with other people, maybe you have some friends you want to get into investing, you're going to get yourself a free stock. They're going to get a free stock as well. So that is pretty much the home screen. In this section in the middle, usually there's like news articles that are relevant to your investments. So if you're invested into something like Tesla or Amazon or anything else, if something newsworthy comes up, that's where it's going to show up, and you can read real quickly on it if you're interested in that. So I'm going to go into the second tab here, which is something that I recommend for anybody who's using Robinhood, is to actually sign up for cash management. So how cash management works and what it is, it's essentially a checking account, but all it is like that $200 you put in, that's your buying power. If you don't invest that $200 and it sits in your Robinhood account, they send you a debit card so you could spend that $200, which I don't even spend mine, but I do have a card. You actually earn 0.3% APY, which is higher than what you get in any traditional bank.
Can you spend money that's invested or only money that's not
Only
invested?
money that's not invested. You can't swipe your card and it'll pull from your investments.
Okay.
It has to be money that's uninvested into stocks. But if your money's just sitting there, you earn 0.3% on it per year. So it's not that bad.
Could you use this as like a bank account then?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is a higher percentage return. Like most banks is like 0.2%, 0.02 or whatever. And you're not getting a great return. This isn't like phenomenal, but it's better than what you traditionally get.
In like a regular checking or savings?
Right.
Cool.
So the other thing is this is FDIC insured, meaning that if you put up to, $1.25 million into it, you're going to get that money back even if Robinhood were to fail. It's government backed, so your money is safe and secure
Are
in it.
regular banks like that?
Yeah, regular banks are probably a little bit higher than 1.25 million, but honestly, like if you're investing 1.25 million, you'd probably be with a more well-established brokerage. You're not going to be doing it in Robinhood.
Yeah.
When you look at this, you can also pay bills from here. I don't do that. And then there's ATMs that you can find out where they are with your card,
There's
and you can pull out
Robinhood
money.
ATMs.
Not Robinhood specifically. They're like through other banks, but they allow you to withdraw Robinhood funds.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. And this is your virtual card.
Is it free?
It's free. Do you want them to mail you one?
Yeah, I want one.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and click yes. You actually get to choose the exact style you want. So you
I
can get
know
this
which
green
one I
one.
don't want.
You can get this one. You can get the white one. Or you can get America. You want the white one?
No. I want the black one.
Black one? Okay. You sure?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and do this. And we're going to do same as residential. So it's going to get mailed here.
Yep.
Go ahead and do that.
Nice.
It'll get here in a week or two.
Reading all of this.
Of course. Read the information. It's really great stuff.
Good stuff.
Click continue. Accept. Continue. Accept.
I wonder what they actually put in there. Is it going to be like your paragraph that's like, I bet no one's reading this, blah, 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 blah.
No, that's what I do on my channel, though. So I'm just going to do activate card later. Once you get it, you can do it.
Okay.
So I'm going to say maybe later on this, and then back in. So this is the cash management screen that you have here. You can see right now you have 0 cash in there. Once that $200 settles, so once it comes in from your bank,
I'll have 200.
then you'll have 200.
But can I invest my 200 right now if I want?
You could.
Even though it's not technically in there yet.
Right.
Cool.
Yes, you can do that. So this is just saying that 0.3% APY, like I said. Here's where you can find the ATMs. If you enable your location, click on this box. It'll show you the closest ones that work with this. And again, you can show your account number and lock withdrawals. So if you lost your card, somebody found it, they wouldn't be able to access your information or anything like that.
Cool.
So it's a lot of really great stuff here. This is where I go when you look to transfer more money in. I like going into this section because it makes it easy. You can just click transfer. You can transfer to Robinhood from here. You can transfer out of Robinhood to your bank. So if you sell a stock, you were invested, you sell it, you transfer that money to your bank from here. You can set up direct deposit. So as you're getting paychecks from your employee, you could set up it goes directly into this account here if you wanted to.
All of it or some of it, or you have a choice?
Yep, you have a choice.
Cool.
You can also schedule automatic deposits, and this is what I like to do. This is where I invest $100 every single week. It automatically pulls it from my bank account. And I would recommend that over time, you do the same thing just because it makes it easier for you to invest that money.
Does it know what stocks to go into, or you
No,
have to
it just
do
puts it into Robinhood, and then you can distribute it from there.
I see.
There's other apps that allow you to do that, like M1 Finance. I personally like Robinhood because I get to choose. I just have
And
more
then when it
transparency.
goes in, you distribute it as needed.
Right, you can distribute the $100 or however much is automatically deposited into whatever you want.
Okay.
So if you were to do that, you'd come into here, you can click set up automatic deposit, and you can do it, weekly, twice a month, monthly, or quarterly. So what I do is weekly, and I think, because you have loans and other things you're paying, we don't necessarily need to set this up right now. I think you should focus on those and just add money to this as you see fit. But for me, and if you are new, you don't have a lot of debt, you don't have a lot of things you need to pay off, I would highly recommend investing over a period of time. So like on my channel here, D-Litz TV, I invest $100 weekly, soon to be $200 every single week. You can set up the schedule through here, and then all you do is do like $100. You could review, and then you submit it there, and that's exactly how you set up that weekly kind of depositing for you.
Nice.
So we're not going to do that on your channel, so you all right. You can also pay by check, which is kind of new for Robinhood. I haven't used it myself, but essentially if you don't have a checkbook, if you don't have a checking account, you could get them to write one online and they send it to the exact location that you need. So if you're paying rent or something like that and they only accept checks and you have a Robinhood account, you could pay for it theoretically through Robinhood.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you don't even need a bank account technically.
Yeah, I'd still have one just because
But they made it so you don't need one.
Right.
Cool.
So yeah, really cool stuff there. Let's go on to the next screen. So that's everything with the cash management side. I don't know if you have any other questions there.
Nope, all good.
Okay. So the next icon in the middle is the search icon. And it's kind of like obvious what you can do here. This is where you search for your stocks. You also have some of that relevant news on this page. So all these are articles like this is about Google suspending Parler, the social media app. We don't talk about politics here much on this channel. So I know that you're very politically driven. But if you could just kind of ignore that stuff right now, that'd be great. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Here's the Twitter stuff. And this is where you get a lot of information. Again, what I don't necessarily read a lot of the articles on Robinhood, but it is cool to see when your stocks have something interesting going on. Like you can see Apple was up 0.64%, Twitter's down 5.33%. You kind of know why.
R.I.P. Twitter.
Yeah, you can kind of figure it out. And then on the top here, you get these popular lists. So this is what people in Robinhood kind of look at for some of their information. You can see one that I like going into is that 100 most popular. You can see it right off the bat there. So if you click into that, these are the 100 most popular investments that are made on the Robinhood app. So you can see Apple and Tesla are there at the top, obviously, because
those GE?
General Electric.
Oh, cool.
So
is that the one you just invested in?
No, it's not. Ford, another one. NIO, which is another electric vehicle stock, Microsoft, Amazon. So these are all really well-known ones. You definitely want to do your own research when you're investing. Like I wouldn't just necessarily go in and pick off this list randomly because as you know, Tesla is super risky stock right now because their price right now doesn't signify where their company is at. This is valuing into the future. If you click into Tesla, this is the first screen that you'll get when you click into a stock. So Tesla right now, I know that you want to buy into it, but I would say if you're brand new to investing, you haven't done it before, I'd say make your own choice as a brand new investor, but Tesla is a little bit riskier and you want to know what you're getting yourself into. So let's just go over this screen here to understand what it looks like in the app.
After hours.
So this is where it is. You get the stock price at the top, the name. You can go into all of the historical data. You can press and hold the graph to see different things. So go ahead. You can see the different prices at different points of the day. So essentially, like,
What the heck?
yeah, it's kind of cool. So if you bought it like earlier today when it was $838 and you sold at the end of the day, you would have made like $30 from it, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
I don't trade in a day. It's super risky. It's very hard to do. That's day trading. And what I like to do is invest for the long term. And I invest in dividend stocks, as you know.
Yes.
But on this screen, you got the day chart, you got the week chart, you got the month chart, the 3 month, the 1 year, the 5 year, and then these are candle pins. But
It looks pretty good to me.
it does look good. This chart looks pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. Tesla before was worth like $70 and now it's worth 867.
Mm-hmm.
That's over the past year.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
So why can't, just because it might go down? But I'm investing for a long period of time. So
Right. If
wouldn't
you
that-
think Tesla over time is going to be a really good investment for you, then I'd say go
you don't
for it.
think
I
it's
know.
gonna...
I think it's a really risky play. I have it in my portfolio. With that being said, and I'm up nearly 100% on it. But it's hard for me to say you should go into Tesla. It's hard for me because they're really, they're overvalued, and it's hard to tell where they're going to end up. I personally believe in my own heart that it's pretty solid. They're going to do well in the future, and that's why I'm comfortable investing with it. But you still have to make your own choice. I know that you're going to end up investing in it because it's something that's kind of like the reason why you're wanting to get into investing is because of a company like Tesla. Okay. So also on this screen, you can see the stats for it. This basically means the open is the price that it opened at the beginning of the day.
Mm-hmm.
The highest price it got to today, so $884.49. The lowest point it was today, you can see the 52-week high. So literally $884.49 was the highest today. That's the highest it's ever been because the stock market right now is doing really well. It's at really high numbers. The lowest it's been in the past 52 weeks is $70.
Whoa.
So you can see right there, that's sort of the volatility that is implied. It's like you don't really know. Like $70 at the 52-week low, and now it's 884. Like that growth is just so crazy and a lot of times unsustainable.
I see.
So the volume of this is how many times it's traded throughout the day. So 75 million plus times this was traded. People buy and sell it.
Mm-hmm.
The average volume is 42.19 million. So on a typical day, it's going to be traded 42 million times. And then the market cap for this is how much that they actually generate every year. So $751 billion every year is what this projects for them. And then the PE ratio as well.
Damn.
Yep. And then you can see the dividend yield. But this company doesn't offer a dividend yield. They focus on growth. And that kind of goes against what I do in my portfolio. I really love dividend investing. Are you familiar with dividend investing?
Now I am.
Now you are. But for those of you who don't know what dividend investing is, essentially when a company offers a dividend, they pay back a percentage of the profits to the shareholders. So it's really interesting if the company is doing well. And a lot of companies out there have been increasing dividend payments for the past, 20, 25, 50 plus consecutive years. And you know that they're going to be really solid investments in the long run. And that's why I love them. They're a little bit safer than something like Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then you got news for it. This is all the relevant news around Tesla. It's got some really cool stuff here. Down here, you can see some analyst ratings. So like 24% of people are saying that Tesla is a buy right now, 24% of the analysts. 46% are saying it's a hold, and 30% are saying this is overvalued, it should be sold. So you can see it's kind of like mixed feelings with Tesla. I don't look too far into this. It doesn't you're going to find stocks that are 100% buys that aren't necessarily going to be solid buys. You really want to do your own research into these companies.
Where do I do my own research?
There's a ton of different websites out there, like looking up some of the information on Yahoo Finance, just determining, like, I look at a lot of things. I look at the management for the companies. So I'll actually listen in on calls they're quarterly calls that go over how the company performed and stuff like that. I look at their revenue generated. I look at if they offer a dividend or not. I look at, like, there's so much information that you need to take in with each one that is kind of hard, and I've gone over it in several other videos, and I think that, you know, we can talk about that moving forward, but for the purpose of this video, it's kind of hard to go into detail about all that stuff.
I'll just take your word on it.
Yeah. So then you got also what the bulls say. So bulls is a term in the market when you think that it's going to do well. You're bullish. You think the market, the stock itself is going to perform well.
Yeah.
So in this, you can see what the bulls are saying about Tesla. So it has the potential to change the world. There's a lot of great stuff that are coming out of it, right? Mm-hmm. But there's also what the bears say. And it does this on every single stock. And the bears are obviously what the market, like, they're people that believe that it's not going to do well. So it's hard because when you go into each one, you're going to have people saying good things. You're going to have people saying bad things.
That is hard.
Right. So also, I like reading these, but I don't put too much thought into it.
Who writes them?
This is from Morningstar, which is a really reputable, like, stock information company. They've got some analysts that work for them and stuff, and they kind of just talk about overall what it's looking like. They're also what the ratings are here too.
So they do the research for you, essentially.
Yes, but it's tough because, like I said, there's bulls and bears for every single one. So I wouldn't make your decisions based off of what they say on this. Mm-hmm. Make sense? Mm-hmm. You can also do research reports, which is Robinhood Gold. And you have to pay $5 a month for this, but it gives you more information about these investments. What I've found is that using other websites, you can get a lot of these features for free.
So you don't have this?
I don't use this feature. I don't. But there's a lot of people who get some great stuff from it that do. So I just do a little bit more research into what it offers if you're interested in it. I don't personally use it, but a lot of people do.
Got it.
This shows the earnings. So what the earnings are basically is like how well the company did. So if you beat earnings, that means you're positive, you're in the green, you do well. You can see the little gray green, like the little darker green symbol. Mm-hmm. That's what their expected earnings per share are. And their actual is the light green. So everything you see on this chart here from Tesla, they beat their earnings. Nice. And that's because it's above that green, right?
Yep.
Makes sense?
Yep.
So down here, you can see what list this is in. So right now, this is in the 100 most popular. It's also in automotive and California as well.
Okay.
This is where it shows you the stocks that people own that are similar to this. So when people own Tesla, a lot of times they're looking at Apple, Amazon, Neo, Microsoft, Netflix, Nvidia, all these different ones. So it's just kind of like grouping it together.
Yep.
Here you can learn more about the companies. So Tesla here, if you learn more, it just gives you an explanation on what the company actually does. Yep. It doesn't go super into detail, it just gives you an overview of it. Mm-hmm. Down here, you can see who the CEO is, Elon Musk. You're familiar with that?
Reeve.
I didn't know that was his middle name, to be honest. So that's kind of interesting.
Musk.
You can see where the headquarters is, Palo Alto, California. So that's why it was in California on the list. It was founded in 2003 and it employs 48,000 plus people.
Nice.
So if you were to buy Tesla right now, all you would do is click buy. You can buy in dollars or you can buy in shares. So if you buy in shares, you can do, full shares. You could do one, which would cost you $867. You could do half a share, which would cost you $433. Or you can do buy in dollars if it's a little bit easier. And you could do like $100 in a Tesla, right?
Got it.
So the thing that I always do when you buy is in the top right, I click on dollars. I actually do limit orders because the stock prices change every single second that the stock is on the market. Mm-hmm. Right now, it's after hours, so it's not going to be changing. It's actually a Saturday right now. You can't necessarily buy and sell stocks on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. You may have to do this on a Monday. But if you go ahead, what I do is I always set a limit price. So you can see that the market price is $867.51. So it has it listed there.
Yep.
So if this was a regular day, this would be changing literally every second. So it could be up to $868 right now, but it could drop down to $863. It could go back up to $900. Like, it could happen pretty quickly. So what you look at here is I always take what the price of it is currently. So it's $867.51. And I am willing to pay that money. So if I set it at $867.51, this means that it's not going to buy it for anything higher than that price. Mm-hmm. It locks it in at $867.51.
Okay.
So I always do that when I buy it. And then market hours versus extended hours. If you buy within the market time, it's more accurate, like the pricing. Extended hours is kind of like, it's when the stock market is closed and it's a little bit more volatile. It's harder to buy and sell stocks.
Okay.
So I recommend doing it in the market hours. So if you click continue, this would go through on Monday at 4 p.m.
Okay.
So you'd click continue here, and then you do your number of shares. So if you did one, obviously you'd do that $867 value. With the limit order, you have to buy a full share, which sucks. So we're not going to do that. I just wanted to show you how that works.
Okay.
You would buy this in dollars. So do you actually want to buy Tesla right now?
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah.
Let's do, how much do you want to do into Tesla of your $200?
100?
You want to do $100 into Tesla?
Sure.
So I'm going to let you do it. If you want to do $100.
Why? What would you suggest?
I would personally go into other things until you kind of get the market down, but I know that you have for a long time wanted to invest in Tesla, and that's kind of your goal today. So I'd say that's, that's what you want to do. I'd go for it.
Okay.
You want to put $100 in?
Sure.
You want to click swipe up?
So even though the market's closed, I can still buy it and then it'll just go through when it opens?
Yes. So you can see your market order to buy $100 of Tesla is queued for the market open. You invested so far $0 of that 100, but your estimated shares is going to be 0.1. So you're going to have a very small fraction of the Tesla, but you're going to own Tesla.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Really exciting.
Now when does the car get here?
Yeah, right. After it goes up a bajillion percentage. So going back to the overall search screen, you can search for other companies here. So
where's the one that you showed me that was like on the steady incline?
I think that was the VTI one. Is this what you were looking at?
I think so.
You think?
Yeah.
So this one is an ETF. If you don't know what an ETF is, this is your first time kind of learning about that. Essentially, an ETF offers like a basket of stocks. And this one focuses on the S&P 500. And it basically invests in some of the biggest companies there. And it gives you a similar return to what the stock market does in general. So usually the stock market gets a return around 8, 9, 10% a year. And this ETF tends to trace that.
Gotcha.
So it does. This one's done a little bit better than what the market has done. And that's kind of like why I really like investing in this. And this one's more focused on growth. If you scroll down, you can see the dividend yield in this is 1.4. So it does pay a dividend as well.
Dividend, yeah.
But it's not like super high. Some of the ones that I invest in are like 3-4%.
So if I invest the rest of my money in this, I'll get $1.40.
If you invest $100 into this, the dividend yield is 1.4% according to Robinhood. It's not always super accurate, so I'd look up the dividend yield in other places. But theoretically, for every $100 you spent on this, you'd get $1.40 back per year. Per year.
So how much do you have in that one company where you get $10 a month or whatever?
So I invest in SPHD, which pays back monthly. I own 60 shares and I get like 10. This has a dividend yield of 4.78%.
How much money do you have in it?
A few $1,000s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. But if you didn't know, this one offers, like this one is more like you put your money into it and it sits there and it doesn't really fluctuate a lot. It's kind of steady, and then you get dividend payments as well. So I really like SPHD. It's very solid. You're going to get some great dividend payments out of it. I know a lot of people out there kind of look at it and they say you should be targeting more growth when you're younger. I love it because, I can put my money into here. It's stable. It does give you a return. You can see over the past 5 years, it's 16%. But if you buy down here and it goes back to where it was like pre-COVID, you're up 20% from where it's at when you bought down at the lower point. So there is money to be made in stuff like this, but it's definitely more stable over a longer period of time.
Okay.
You just get paid dividends on top of it.
So which one should I do, that one or the other one?
Well, let's talk about where you should put the rest of it in a little bit. Let's keep going through the app, all right?
Okay.
So if you wanted to search for any specific companies, you can come up here. All right, so unfortunately, as we were recording, the recording actually stopped. So we're gonna jump back in. I believe we're at the point in time where Emma said she wanted to search for Nike. So we're gonna open up Nike stock here and just look at the overview of what it looks like on the app. Again, you have the same exact screen that we saw with the last Tesla stock that I showed you. So if you scroll down, you're gonna get a lot of the same information. You have the chart here where you can view all the different time periods up to 5 years. And then online, you can Google this and you can find like max. So when it was first introduced to the stock market, to see the chart from when it was like initially involved. So then again, you have all the stats here for it. More of those analyst ratings. So for this one, a lot of them are saying buy, and then you got that bulls bears section again, the research report, the earnings section, and the list that it's incorporated on. So all of that stuff that we kind of went over before.
Got it.
So So yeah, I mean, not every stock, not every company out there is going to be on the stock market. So it's kind of like you just got to look for some of the ones that you're familiar with. A lot of the bigger ones that are well known, you're going to be able to find, but it's not going to incorporate every single, mom and pop shop, everything like that.
What about Folgers?
Folgers, like the coffee stuff.
Yeah.
Believe they're on here. Oh, so they're actually owned by this company?
So they're in an ETF.
No. Well, this company is like, so if you think of Johnson and Johnson, do you know what they are?
Yes.
They do like baby powder, but they also do like shampoo, and they actually have some pharmaceutical stuff going on. Mm-hmm. It's something similar to that. J.M. Smucker is a company that owns that sort of product.
Got it.
And they also own a bunch of different things. I'm not sure exactly what J.M. Smucker's, what other things they own, but if you go down, it'll tell you down here, they operate through retail coffee, consumer foods, pet foods, and international away from home. So there are like a lot of different sections here.
Cool.
So I guess like that's another cool thing about Robinhood is you might look for a stock and think that you're going to find a ticker symbol for that specific thing, but it might fall under another category. And this is actually really good because it introduces diversification. So it's not just one thing you're investing in. You're not just investing in Folgers coffee. You're getting all of the other brands and products that are recognized by that.
Cool.
Makes sense? You've been yawning a lot.
No.
Is it really that boring?
No.
Okay. So that's how you search. Real quickly, just to go over it, do you want to go ahead and search for a company and like go through as if you were to buy it for the first time? It could be anything you want. You don't have to. Yeah, you can go through for anything.
Amazon.
A lot of great stuff with Amazon.
They're saying that you should buy right now for the most part.
Now, if I were to ask you if they have a dividend yield, do you know?
They do not.
That's right. So if you were to buy it, just kind of run through the steps here. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Buy, but I don't have any money. So I would do like $10 and then hit review.
Yep, and then it would come up with the swipe
And
up.
if I didn't want to do dollars, I could buy in shares.
Yep.
And I can set up reoccurring investments and so on.
We'll go through some of the other sections. So on the right here in the bottom, the little messages icon, this tells you everything that you've done. So you have your announcements here.
Should we tell them off camera we bought this one?
Yeah, we'll kind of sum it up at the end so they just know like why you invested in that and stuff like that. So basically this just tells you like your announcements. You can click the bubbles to get more information on each thing. It's useful. I don't go into it all the time. It's just like an overview if you wanted to ever look back at your history. It's just another quick way to look at that. Mm-hmm. So that's all the messages there. It'll tell you what you've been doing. This is where you actually got your free share. Which we'll talk about again in a second. But now going into the account section here, you can see this is where it's going to break down your portfolio. You're going to get some of that information on, what you're invested in and how it's broken up.
So you have all my portfolio money right now is in stocks.
Yes, that's what this is saying, 100%.
I thought I invested in an ETF.
Because you haven't bought, because the market, it's not
open
closed.
yet?
Yeah, it's not open. The day hasn't on Monday, when this goes through, this information is going to change to 50% stocks, 50% ETFs.
Okay.
So, so basically, this is where it's going to talk about, consumer goods, tech media. This is going to give you your segments that you're invested in.
Cool.
It's going to talk about the ETFs that you're invested in here. And then there's something called options trading, but for the purpose of this, I don't think that, a lot of the beginning investors shouldn't necessarily be trading options. It's a new form of investing. It's a little bit more hands-on, and I know you aren't going to really be going into this every single day. You kind of want to set your investments and not really have to worry about it, going and manage it actively. Am I right in thinking that?
Yes.
Yeah. So then again, the crypto section, which unfortunately you and I don't have access to, but a lot of people out there might. You just have to apply to get approved to trade crypto. And again, crypto is, I believe in crypto personally. I think it's going to do really well in the future. And obviously Bitcoin is very expensive right now. I know you want to get into it at some point. But again, it's risky and you just want to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. A lot of people don't really understand the full power and what crypto actually does. So that's all good stuff there. If you go into the top right, you have the 3 little dashes there. You can click on that, and it's going to bring up these different sections for you. I use these a lot, especially in some of the videos that I'm covering. If you go into the investing section, this is going to give you more of that breakdown. So right now you have $205.95 invested. It's kind of interesting. You put in $200, but you got that free stock at $5.95 off the camera. When you deposit money, you can deposit as much as you want, but it takes a few days to transfer into your account. So initially, anything, if you invest $1,000 or more, you're gonna get that first $1,000, be able to invest it immediately. But over the next period of time is when you'll get access to the rest of the funds. So that takes usually 3 to 5 business days to transfer in from any of your bank accounts. So you can also view your recurring investments here. And basically, with a recurring investment, you can invest in a specific company. So if you wanted to invest in Apple and you wanted to do it every single day, week, bi-weekly, or monthly, you can just click it in here, set it up bi-weekly. You choose the account you want to take from. So you can either have it take from your Robinhood buying power or your specific checking or banking account. So if you did that, you can click on that, click continue. And let's say you just wanted to do $25 every other week. You just review and then swipe up and you'll be all set with that. Any questions?
So you could couple that with the thing that takes money from your account like every week, and then it would automatically invest that money that's being taken from your account every week.
Yes. Yep. So if you did the automatic deposits and you set it up to be like $100, and then every other week you wanted to take 25 of that 100 from your Robinhood account, you can set that up through here.
Nice. And then you don't have to do anything.
Exactly. So it can be a lot more hands-off if you want it to be. That's what I personally like. So it's great that you're thinking that way. And then dividend reinvestment. I know you know about dividend reinvestment, but a lot of people who are watching this might not be familiar with it. Essentially, if the companies are paying dividends, you can reinvest that money as soon as the dividends are paid to you, and it goes right back into those companies. You don't even need to think about reinvesting it. You don't need to think about where to allocate those funds. So if you enabled it, you don't have any dividend paying stocks right now, but if you did, they'd show up in this section, and it's literally just a little swipe. You can swipe it on or swipe it off.
And then your dividends would hypothetically get bigger because you're investing more.
Exactly. So it'd be a very small portion because a lot of the dividend yields are very small percentages, but every time you reinvest that money, it just grows and grows and grows. And that's my favorite form of investing. I really love dividend investing. I know I keep kind of tooting dividend investing's horn, but that's really what I built my channel around. So it's like, if I can get more people interested in that, it kind of works out better in my favor as well. So all great stuff there. Again, this is where you can get options trading. Off the bat, you're not going to be able to trade options. You actually have to apply for it on Robinhood, answer a few questions. Options trading is a lot more risky. That's why it's kind of a little bit more gated than some of the other features. And I've talked about it before in a few videos, but I rarely ever trade options. And unless you have the time to put into it, the energy, and a lot of that effort, it's almost not worth it for brand new investors. But it's definitely doable, and you can look it up. The other thing is your day trade settings here. So day trading is if you buy and sell a stock in one day trade period, so one business day. If you do that more than 3 times in 1 week, your account gets locked for 90 days. So if you day trade, more than that, unless you have $25,000 in your account, you're going to get locked out.
Is that just because of Robinhood, or is that all of day trading in the stock market?
Any brokerage you go through, anything, if you...
But don't people survive off of day trading?
But they have more than $25,000 in their account.
So if you have more than $25,000, you don't have a limit per week?
Right. You can trade as many times as you want. You could do it literally 400 times in a day if you chose to, but yeah, it's kind of... It's like,
sounds risky.
It's protecting you, and everybody has the pattern day trader protection, I believe, on, but you definitely want to go in and check to make sure. Essentially, this isn't going to let you do that last trade that will mark you as a pattern day trader, because you just don't want to get locked out of your investment account, basically.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's all good stuff there. That's a lot of the account information. There is another transfer section here. It's the same as the other one I showed you. You can transfer into Robinhood, transfer from your bank. You can put money back into your bank from Robinhood, automatic deposits, pay by check, all that stuff here again. That's the same exact section that I showed you before.
Yep.
This is your statements and history. I go in here a lot. So this is where you can see, you deposited money, you have your bonus stock that came in, you have a Tesla buy waiting in the market right now, and you also have that VTI market buy waiting. If you wanted to sort this, there's a way to sort it as well. when you have more information, you can sort it. It'll show up in categories at the top, the very top of the app, and you can sort it by like dividends, buying, selling. There's a lot of different categories it'll give you, but because your account is brand new, it doesn't have a lot of that insight.
Cool.
Oh, and again, in that section, same statements in history, you have your tax documents, and you do have to report your taxes with Robinhood. So just keep that in mind. It's really easy to do your taxes. I'll probably put out a few videos on that in the future, especially if you use something like TurboTax, because Robinhood intuitively integrates with that tax platform. So it just makes it so much easier. You just log into your Robinhood account, link it there, and it's all set for you. Plug and play.
Got it.
And then you have some of your settings. So we dove in here to before. There's a lot of stuff that you want to be aware of here. This is where you have some of the cash management, account information, a lot of great stuff here, your notifications and messages. So that's a lot of the similar stuff that we've seen on the app already. But then you also have your devices, you have device security and two-factor authentication. By default, the two-factor authentication is off. We actually enabled it yesterday. And essentially, if you don't know how that works, what it is, if you go into it, you basically set it up. You can choose a method. You can do SMS, email. There are a few other ones. I don't know. I don't remember what the other options were.
Probably like call.
Yeah. But I always choose SMS, and essentially what this does is anytime that you log into Robinhood on a new device, a new platform, maybe you go on a computer that's not your typical computer, it's just going to send you a text message. You're going to need to enter like a 4-digit code to give the access to that computer to be able to access your funds. Now, I'd highly recommend doing that because when you're dealing with your money, when you're dealing with investments, you don't want to lose out on anything. If somebody somehow got access to that, it's really not going to be great for you. They can sell it. They can really do whatever they want. So you just want to make sure that you have that protection layer set up.
Yes.
And again, we went into the app appearance here. This is cool. You can actually change the colors if you want to. You got like this pink purple. I don't even know what you call it. I'm like slightly colorblind, I feel like.
It's like watermelon.
It's like watermelon. So if you go back to the home screen, it kind of changes the outlook. Makes it a little bit nicer because instead of seeing red when you have a bad day, you see this purple color. So I don't know, a little bit of personal justification that makes you feel better. The last thing here is help. If you have any problems with Robinhood, you have any questions, this is a really great section. You have a help center here, so you can look up different questions you might have. It's pretty built out, it's pretty nice, and then you can contact them. The only thing about Robinhood and contacting Robinhood is they don't have a phone number you can call, which really sucks. It's not great for a brokerage account, especially when you're dealing with money. If you have a question that you have urgent dire need to get information, to get an answer from.
Comment on D-Litz's TV's
No.
videos and
No.
he'll answer them.
You don't do that. I don't work for Robinhood. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. But what you do is you reach out to them via email. You can get all the information from this section. And then I found that typically when you reach out via email, it takes them like maybe a day max to get back to you. I've had to reach out in the past a few times, and I've also tweeted at them. They're pretty active on Twitter. So if you have any questions, take it to a few different platforms and you'll be able to get answers a lot quicker than normal. Sound good?
Yes.
All right. So off the screen, I kind of asked Emma a few different questions to figure out what would be a solid starting foundation for her investments. And what we found is you're the type of investor who doesn't necessarily want to go in there every day and make active decisions about your investments. You kind of want to invest, set it, and forget it, right?
Correct.
So this is a chart that I showed her the other day. She mentioned it on the video. She liked what it looked like, the steady increase. VTI is a total stock market tracker. It comes from Vanguard. Vanguard is a really, really great, they have a brokerage as well. They set up they have a bunch of different ETFs. So if you're interested in investing in international stocks, maybe the bond market, a lot of different things, you can do it through some of Vanguard's different investment styles. So it's really great. This one isn't like, I can't say that you're guaranteed to get a return on it because
Nothing's guaranteed.
Nothing's guaranteed, right? But this one is as close to almost, for growth purposes, VTI, VOO, these are all very solid options for investors who want to set it, forget it. They have a long time in the market because how old are you?
23.
23. Had to think about it for a second.
I think I'm 20. I might be 24.
No, you're 23. We're never the same age except for a month in the year.
Oh, you're 24. Okay.
You're 23. So I'm glad that we have that straightened out now. But yeah, so if you have time in the market, Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF is a really solid one that, like I said, isn't guaranteed, but it's pretty close to, a solid return year over year on the stock market. So this is it over the past 5 years, as you can see, up 94%.
And that was COVID.
So yeah, that dip right there was the beginning of COVID, and that happened for a lot of different stocks. So obviously, if you invested at the dip, you'd be doing a lot better right now.
Did you invest at the dip?
So I've been investing $100 every single week. So definitely during that time that it dipped, I was still investing in the stock market. And that's why I really like talking about dollar cost averaging. And basically dollar cost averaging is just putting more money in over time, being consistent, and that mitigates any risk that you have. So if the stock market kept crashing, like I was buying before it crashed. I was still buying up here, and then it crashed. So a lot of my portfolio value actually went negative. I was down, maybe 15, 20% of my portfolio at one point in time, like total, all of my investments. So it's kind of scary if you have like a couple $1,000s in and you lose, hundreds of dollars, $500, whatever. That's where you want to have thick skin and be able to know, hey, I'm invested in sound companies that should bounce back. I feel confident holding my position. And then that's when you actually want to buy more in a lot of cases.
Right. That's when I should have gone in.
Yeah, so it would have been better to get in back then. But the thing is, even though the stock market right now is at all-time highs, and it's kind of uncertain where we're headed, especially with the election heating up, the office switching. A lot of people out there are saying with the Democratic Party in office, it's going to shake up the market a little bit, but no one really knows what's going to happen. And I personally think there's a lot of money to be made no matter, who's in office, no matter what parties are out there. You're definitely going to have other sections. I actually made a video, if you guys want to check it out, on some of the investments that I'm making with Biden in office. It's really great stuff. There's a lot of money to be made in my own opinion, and it's some great stuff that you should definitely check out if you're just getting started in investing. So that was pretty much an entire overview of this application, Emma. If you feel uncomfortable with it, let me know. Do you feel like you kind of get the way of it?
I do.
Yeah, you got it down.
If I have any questions, I'll just comment on Delitz TV's stuff.
Yes. Sounds good. And then if you were to sell anything that you have, do you know how to do that? I didn't really cover that, but I want to make sure you know how.
No, because you sold the one that you tried, this is the one that I earned, and then you just did trade and then sell. Yep,
sell. And then this one, because, you have to wait 3 trading days to be able to sell it. But that's how you sell it. Buying and selling, super easy on Robinhood. They make it really user intuitive, and it's just a really nice process for anybody involved. So your first investments are going to be made on Monday. How do you feel?
Good. Wait, question. If I did sell that, would that count as like a day trade number 1? Or only if I bought it and sold it in the same day?
Only if you bought it and sold it in the same day.
But I can't even do it?
It's not even possible. You have to hold free stocks for at least 3 days.
Only free stocks. So I could have bought and sold Tesla in the same day.
Right. If you buy Tesla on Monday, and let's say you buy it, it opens up in the market because it can open up at a different price. Let's say it opens up at $857. And then it goes up to $867, and you're like, hey, I want to take some profits. You decide to sell it. You can do that. You can actually trade it in one day, but I don't recommend doing that. I like to invest in stocks that are going to have value over a long time.
Yeah.
So theoretically, if you hold this for a while, this could be worth like Amazon, right? A few $1,000s in the stock market.
Right.
And you could be really better off with that.
Okay.
But you could do that up to 3 times and then not get marked. And then if you do it another time, you're going to get marked as a patent day trader. So you just want to make sure that you're not doing that.
Got it. But this will give me a warning on my...
You'll get a warning. You're locked out. You're not going to be able to do it. So just make sure that...
But if I were to go make my 3rd trade, they would warn me and be like, you're about to be... Okay.
Right. It's not going to let you unless you physically are going to click, I want to make this trade. And it basically raises red flags, all these things. You're going to know what's going on.
Okay. Cool.
So you have nothing to worry about there.
Yep.
Okay?
No questions. All good.
All right. Nothing else about the app that you're wondering?
Nope.
One more quick little tip. If you wanted to sort some of your stocks as you buy a lot more as you get into investing, if you click on what it's worth right now on the right-hand side, so these little icons here, if you click them, it gives you a different way to kind of sort these. You got last price, percent change, your equity, today's return, and total percentage change.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to reorganize these, Robinhood doesn't do a great job at organizing your stocks. You can click on one, you hold it, and then you can move it up and down on the list based on where you want it to show up.
Cool.
Yeah. That's all I can think about right now. I'm sure there's a lot more that Robinhood has to offer that we kind of breeze past, but as a brand new investor, you're just getting started. These are the things that I think you should be aware of, and it's really going to help you get started investing.
Got it.
Thank you for being such a great guest on the channel.
Anytime.
All right, so anyways, guys, I hope that did help out your starting of the Robinhood app. Maybe you got some more information, some stuff you weren't familiar with. If you did take anything away from it, it would really be appreciated if you just hit that like button. It helps me out more than you know. It's going to promote my channel. It's going to put it on other homepages. And for those who are just starting, they're thinking about getting investing, I really do think that I have a solid channel that's going to help build the foundation for a lot of people. And you're going to learn a lot of stuff from me as I'm learning as well. I'm no expert, but I think that what I have going on this channel here is some really great stuff. So again, guys, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Turn on that bell notification. It's the most important part. I post a ton of different content you're definitely not going to want to miss. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. Have a great day. Wow.